Hey, I just put in the chat, just wondering if you can hear us. Just let me know in the chat if you can. Thank you. Hey, how are you? Good. Oh yeah, if you want, I can send you a Calendly link for tomorrow or okay. Okay. We typically leave right after 3. We're in office 12 to 2 typically on Tuesday through Thursday. But I can send you a Calendly link and then you can pick whatever time works best for you and we can set something up. Yeah, of course. That's perfect. Oh, thanks, sir. So I have somewhere to put this. No coffee. All right. We'll start in a couple minutes here. I'll allow people to sign in and come on in. So we'll start around 1:05. Oh no, these are just my notes. But yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. Thanks. Good luck out there. Yeah, one more time. I know. Crazy. I thought it'd be cooler with it being warmer outside. It would cool it off, but yeah, we'll start providing it. Yeah, that would be a good class. I feel like everyone will enjoy it more. Come on. Hey, Mom. I need to start wearing pockets when I teach. I don't know where I'm going to put this. I don't think she has it with me. Will it stay? Let's try it. So I just tried to put it up here in my book. Oh, nice. By the way, I'm. There we go. Yeah, that's good. This is a good idea. This is good. All right. Oh, thanks. That's part of the outfit, actually. Yeah, making my own style. All right, no worries. All righty. So we'll get started on today's class. So we're doing leads for listings or listing exposure. And I just want to start class off with how you can ever get in touch with us. So if you ever have any tech questions or issues, anything at all, you can always find us on the KWB Resources website, so the kwbresources.com. And then if you click I need tech help in the top right, that'll bring us right to our Calendly where you can schedule an appointment. So we can have a session, walk through any of your tech issues or anything with tech that you want. So that's how you can always get in touch with us for that. All right, but for today, we'll be in command. So agent agent.kw.com. And is everyone connected to the Wi-Fi? Okay, awesome. And at agent.kw.com is where you can sign in with your credentials. So we'll be going through quite a few sections in this class, kind of wrapping command together in regards to marketing. So we'll be going over how to add a featured listing, so the listing to your website. We'll go over how to create a landing page for your listing with more details on that, create an email design and a campaign to email out to your sphere. And then we'll also go through how to do a postcard, like it just lists a postcard in command as well, which is a really cool feature. So to get started, I always like to look at the settings first, lay down foundation for everything that you're going to be doing in marketing in command. So to get to your settings, we're going to go up to your name in the top right corner and go down to settings. And as I'm going through this, if you have any questions at all, or if I'm going too fast, just let me know and I can re-say or do anything again. So in the settings section, you'll see there's a lot of applications that are already in command. And really for today, what we'll be doing, most importantly, I mean, in general, these are connected apps. So a lot of things are connecting to the campaign section. So having your Facebook connected will allow you to post ads and social posts through command. So having Facebook connected. But really the one that's gonna be most relevant in today's class will be command email. Just making sure when you click manage there, that this reply to email is your business email. Because when we're sending, for example, that email campaign today, just making sure that whatever email's there, that's where you'll receive that reply if any clients reply to that. Just make sure that's your business email there. I'll also just want to point out just Twilio. So Twilio is the application used in command where you can bulk text your database. Now it is a paid tool in command, but it's pretty nominal. $3.16, I think it starts off per month. So that's the app there if you're wanting to text your clients through command or do that in bulk or through smart plans. That would be the application for that. And just a heads up for smart plans, so it's not required by any means. So if you have a smart plan and it has a text message step, it will just give you a task to text them instead of automatically sending out for you. So it's not mandatory in any means, but it is a cool tool offered in command. So other than that and these applications, if you go over to Connect Settings on the left-hand side to expand that out and go to Marketing Profile. So again, we're under our name and settings and then Connect Settings and Marketing Profile. So this is one of the most important sections in command. This is where all your information pulls from for your marketing materials. So just making sure that this is up to date, everything is looking exactly how you'd like. When you onboard, Scott Leroy Marketing does set this up for you. But just, it's always good to look back in this section, just making sure that everything is displaying exactly how you like, because this will pull to marketing materials. So it's pretty straightforward. It's your details here at first. We got Market Center information, clients, and the option to add social media to your website, as well as Google Analytics ID, and that's to track your website traffic, which actually we'll go to first. So we're going to first walk through how you can add a featured listing to your website to display that as a featured listing. So to do that, we're going to start by going to the consumer section of command. So you're getting to know these icons. If you click this red KW in the top left, that will expand those out so you can see what each of these mean. And we're going to go over to consumer. Yeah, absolutely. So that's going to be the consumer, the last icon on the left-hand toolbar. It's going to be the consumer tab, and if you click on it, it should bring you right here. And now it will first show you agent site pages. So these are all the active pages on your command website. And if you want, you can click on this URL there at the top of the screen so that you can see what your command website is looking like right now. Yeah, so your URL is clickable there at the top. So if you want to take a look and see how that looks, that's where it'd be. But then back in command, so in command in that consumer section, so the last icon there, we're going to go up to site and app settings. So that was consumer, site and app settings in the top right. And in general, this section is where you can make some quick updates to your site. So you can update the hero text and hero images. So on the website, what those are these big, this is the hero text. And the hero images are those images scrolling in the background. So in command, you are able to update that. And just a heads up with the hero images, you can only have up to 5. So if you are wanting to add a new one, you just need to delete one of the default ones to then add a new one. We have URLs. So this is if you ever want to change your domain or your subdomain for your website, you can do that here. And just a heads up with these website domains, these always end in .kw.com, so not just .com, it's .kw.com, and it cannot have www in front of it. So when you're sharing your website URL, just make sure there's no www in front of it, and it's a .kw.com at the end. Here's where you can also find your app URL. Really the one I'm going to touch on, though, is featured listings. Now, this section does need to be activated just once to be able to edit and maintain this section. So if you're not able to add listings to this section quite yet, it may just be it's not activated, but we'll walk through how to do that. And then you won't have to do that again moving forward. So we're going to go up to Learn More with Kelly Guides. So the top right there, Learn More with Kelly Guides. And then we're going to do consumer settings. And let me know if I can re-say that again. So Learn More with Kelly Guides and then consumer settings. Oh, that's why. Yeah. And then we're going to click Get Started. I'm going to refresh. It's taking a second. Right, here we go. Okay, Get Started. Here we go. Scroll down a little bit, and you can click Next. Well, if you can. Next. Okay, that worked. All right. And then we're going to do featured listings for this. So we can click on the arrow to the right of featured listings. That's right. If you get this pop-up, that means you've already activated that within your account. If you do not get this pop-up, if you click on the show featured listing, so that toggle, it might not be green for you. If you click that toggle to switch it on, that's going to activate it. You will also need to add in a title, such as featured listings, which that's what I put in there. And then I think you can click save and continue. If you can't, I think you might, if you can't click save and continue, try selecting a listing. So sorry, I would show it to you, but I already activated it. It does say like you have to select the listing to continue. Gotcha. So yeah, select any listing and I'll walk through how you can go about deleting them, adding them within the site and app setting. But just for now, just select any listing just to get it activated. And then you can click save and continue. Let me know when you guys are there. Does anyone need assistance with that at all? It's good? Yeah? Sure. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. Let's go to, so are you signed into agent.kw.com? Valentine. This is, yeah, try going to a new tab. Try going to agent.kw.com. Perfect. Yeah, shift this to your. Awesome. Perfect. And then I am in, okay, the consumer section, so the last icon there. And then site and app settings. And I believe we'll have to activate. So let's go to learn more with Kelly Guides. Consumer settings. The consumer, yeah, that's not yet perfect. I'll leave this one. Yeah, after there, it will say you'll just click get started and next. And then featured listings will be one of those options. And you just click on that to bring us to this section. Of course. Oh, no worries. I can. Gotcha. If it would be helpful, I can actually do it up here. So in case anyone else is. Okay, so. Here. Man's being slow today. Anybody else? Okay. Okay. Go back. Okay. So consumer section, so the last icon on the left-hand toolbar. Then site and app settings in the top right. Then you're going to go to learn more with Kelly Guide. Kelly Guide, so right near the top right there. And then consumer settings. Yes, learn more with Kelly Guides. Right next to like agent site options. Consumer settings. And then continue. Perfect. Then we can click get started. On the next screen, you may just have to scroll down a little bit to get to next. And then you can click the arrow to the right of featured listings to open up that section. So if it doesn't give you this pop-up, if you click the toggle, like it's white right now, if you clicked it, it would turn green. So that would activate it. Yeah, I can't. I'm already activated here. So if you turn that toggle on, that will activate it. You're going to have to give it a title, so like featured listings, and just select any listing just to get that activated. And once you're done with that and you click Save and Continue at the bottom there, you can actually just click the X in the top right of your Kelly guide to bring you back to the site and app settings part. Yeah, just select any of them. It does require you to pick one just to activate it. So if you select one, I'll walk through how you can delete it off your site, but just picking one as a placeholder to get that activated. Let me see. Okay, gotcha. If you scroll, can you scroll up? Or this is okay, yeah. So yeah, once you're done with that, you're free to click the X in the top right on that green toolbar there. You can always come back to this section too. So this is where you can set up additional things for the consumer side. So that guide builder that you're talking about, that brings you to, that next step. That's gonna be like on the KW Consumer app. So there are guides on it. I don't know if you guys have the KW Consumer app. I do recommend downloading it and just taking a look to see what clients are saying when you send it to them.
So are you showing anything other than this featured listing that says go to site settings?
Oh, not quite yet. Or we're about to exit out of there and go back to the.
Oh, okay. Because I thought I was like, it's been sitting here on the same thing for a while. And
yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was going around the room, just updating some computers. So we'll move out.
Oh, okay.
Out of this.
Okay.
But yeah, those guide builders. So that would be on the KW Consumer app, and that's kind of the page. That next step is where you can edit that information if you want. But for now, let's go back to the consumer side. So you guys can click that X in the top right corner. I'm going to click go to site settings. And does it bring you back here when you click that X? Is it in the top? Oh no, scroll up. And then that X. Really good. So it should bring you back to, I believe, the site and app settings section. If not, we're in that consumer tab and site and app settings in the right. And we can click on featured listings in the middle of the page to open up that section. So now that that's all activated for you, this is where you can go about. So now moving forward, you're not going to have to go to learn more with Kelly Guides to activate that. You only have to go to this section to maintain your featured listings. Now, a couple things with featured listings. You can select up to 12. Also, they do need to be manually maintained. So that means they're not going to automatically be posted on your website once you enter that into the MLS or anything. You would have to go to this section to add that in manually. And in theory, you'd have to do that when they're removed as well. Although the featured listing section does only display active residential listings. So if it's not active anymore, it would be removed from your site, but it might not be removed from the back end, if that makes sense. So you can select your listing. So if you select listing here, you'll see that it is first showing only my listings. And if you're not seeing that, if you do have listings and you're not seeing those in this section, you can sync my MLS. So that button would sync those over to here so that they would pull over. But you can also change this to show all listings instead, in case you're having any issues finding that. And I believe you can post other agents' listings if you wanted to feature them. It's always good to get their permission if you do that. But for compliance-wise, I believe it just has to be agents at your office. But again, always making sure that you get their permission first. If you're going to feature other people's listings, is a good idea. But so you can search for the property by property address, MLS number, city or zip code. And then you can click select when you find your listing and click done. So also going back to that section just to show you too, you can also select multiple. So if you wanted to select multiple, you can select up to 12. And then you can click done to add those like to your featured listings backend. Now to delete any, you can click the trash can icon. So if you did add a listing, that's just to get that activated. You can click that trash can icon to delete any featured listing. And just make sure you're always clicking save changes if you're making any updates here. Oh yeah. So now that's in the back end. So if you exit out of this. Oh, I guess it's not displaying there. Did yours display when you it didn't display? Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, that's good. So I guess it just makes you click one, but then doesn't display. So that's good. And you can always double check too. So once you save that or make any changes and you click save changes, if you go back to agent site pages, you can always click on your URL up here. And that's where I always like to click on the URL. And let's see there. Refresh. Oh. It's showing on your website. Oh, but it's not in the backend. Here, go back to the command side and do site and app settings again. The feature, yeah. Try doing delete all listings. Okay, cool. Okay, so anyone that had that happen to them, if you go to site and app settings, back to site and app settings, and then featured listings, and then go to delete all listings at the bottom, and then it will have you click to confirm. That should update that. Sorry about that. I didn't know that happened. Weird. Okay, so that's how, yeah, that would be how you go about adding featured listings to your site. Mine's not even displaying on my site. And it could be because these aren't, I didn't check on these listings. I'm not sure if they're active. I know they're residential, but I'm actually not sure if they're active. I should look for an active one. But so that might be why they're not displaying on my site. So, but just in general, this would be how you go about it. If you just have a listing to feature that on your website, and then you can drive traffic to your website, and they'll be able to see this featured listing right at your homepage, which is great. Now we're going to go about how to create a landing page. So if you joined me last week for the open house class, this is very similar to that, but I'll actually go a couple steps here today. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to stay in the consumer section. So again, this last icon on the left-hand toolbar. So if you're not in the consumer section, And then we're going to go up to landing pages. So this will display all your active landing pages. Well, if it has a green toggle, that means it's live. No worries, we'll create one today. If you don't have any landing pages, no worries at all. Landing pages are primarily used for lead generation. So they are standalone pages separate from your command website. So this wouldn't be like an additional page on that command website that we added the feature listing, but instead just its own page and its own URL that you could share. And I can talk about how you can use that in practice as well when we create that. It could be just for a property. Maybe you run contests and you want like a page set up for that lead capture, just for contests. Really just anything. Yeah, properties is a good one. Like an open house sign-in page is kind of what we talked about last week, so that you could create a piece for people coming to open house to sign in. And all this lead capture information pushes to your command database, which is amazing. So once they fill out that information, it will automatically be in your contact section for then you to market to further or touch up to later. Yeah, that's one way, your computer or iPad. You can also create a QR code, which we'll walk through as well, a QR code that you could print out and have at your open house so people could scan it on their phone and sign in. So yeah, those are a couple options. I've seen the iPad be used too, where they just have it up and they sign directly in there. So yeah, those are great options. To go about creating this landing page, we're going to go up to create a new page. And then we're going to do this as a landing page. So it's going to default on my agent site page, but we're going to want to choose as a landing page and click create page. So I always like to start with giving my designs a name. So in the top left here, this won't be viewable to your clients, but it's good for your own personal sanity. You can add in a name, so just list it if you want. And then there are a few things that I like to add to these just listed pages. One being a branded header. So I like to always see your information at the top there so they know exactly who this is from. Oh, sorry, I did that so fast. So what we'll be doing basically is taking these widgets on the right-hand side and dragging them onto the design itself to create this landing page. So for example, this branded header, I can click on this widget, click and keep clicked and drag that over to your landing page design. And when you click drop, that should add it there. All right, and I like to get all my widgets added first before configuring, which will make that customizable. Like right now, it's just saying some random agent's name, and configuring the widgets will allow us to update that with our information. But I like to add in all the widgets first and then go through that. So the next one I like to add for these listing landing pages is a listing widget. So again, same concept here. If we click and drag that over, and you'll see that that green line appears. So that's where it's going to drop, whether I want it above this widget or below it. And I want it below it, so I want that green line below it. And then once I release, that's going to add that in. Yeah, I really like landing pages. I find they're pretty like simple to make, but they also look really good, so I really like them. Mm-hmm. So if you're like, I think you have to be like hovered on the design part to scroll down on it, or maybe click on it even on that side. Okay, nice. And yeah, you may want to scroll down just a little bit so we can add in the next widget. So, and then like to have a lead form on there so that we can capture this lead information. So this widget here, the lead form on the right-hand side, drag, and I want this under that listing widget, so that green bar, even though you can't see it, did move down there. And that added that in. That was the lead form one. Mhm. Exactly. Like once they fill out this lead form, this is the one that's going to push their information to your contact section for you. Yeah, the legal footer. So that's, I know for email design specifically, the legal footer is for compliance. You do have to have a legal footer in there. I don't believe that's the case for landing pages. Yeah. Yes. So configuring these widgets, so these are all kind of placeholders. Once we configure the widgets, we'll be able to select our listing, and all that listing information is going to pull from the MLS. So once you've added it to the MLS, you'll be able to set up a landing page with that information here. And so let's go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and configure that widget, or configure all widgets. So let's go back. And to do so, we're going to click Configure Widgets in the bottom right. And it might look like this to you first. So this is just listing all the widgets that we have on our landing page. And I like to always just go right through them, starting at 1 and go down through and configure all of them. It does? Does it? Okay, so did it pop up like this? Gotcha, yeah. So you are on the branded header widget. So starting with that one, so it might have brought you to the first widget to start editing. Yes, so we can click these arrows on the top to go right through the widgets. But yeah, just make sure that your information looks great here. Maybe you want some hyphens between your phone number. Add that in. It does have the option for header text. So maybe you want to put just listed and in Charlotte. Maybe the address of it. But anything that you're editing here, once you click Save and Apply in the bottom right, that will populate on the page right away. And just a heads up, that information that's already there, like your headshot and my name, that all pulled from the marketing profile, which is why I like to start classes like that, because it pulls a lot. The marketing materials pull a lot from there. All right, once that looks good, we can click on the arrow in the top right to move to the next widget, which will be our listing widget. And for this, we can browse listings. So you can do that by property address, MLS number, or KWLS ID. And let's see. Yeah, well, it pulls from the MLS automatically. So just selecting the listing will pull this all over. So like, for example, this will be my listing here. So if I select this, I can choose which picture I want displaying on this main picture here. So I'll just do like the front of the house, for example, and click Save and Apply just to show you what that looks like. So it's going to pull the picture, and then this is all updated for you. So the price, the information about the property. So this is all pulling from the MLS that you input in, but then it pulls from there just by choosing the listing in command. So then it will take all their photos. Yes, yeah, this is an example listing. This is one I'm pulling for. But yeah, for your listing, you could find your listing and pull that information. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, you could. Yep, exactly. Yeah, you would look for their listing there. Yeah, like at the top. Yeah, it's super cool. I love how integrated it is with pulling and syncing from MLS. Yeah. Yeah, it does usually change. That's, huh. I think there's, yeah, I think usually Tuesday is KW's update day, which if it's going slow, that's usually why. Yeah, I'm actually seeing that too. And I'm not even seeing the scrolling pictures updating. So there seems to be a glitch going on. It would, and I can show you on another landing page that we did. That does usually change, and it does change with the map as well. So in theory, that would all pull that information of your listing. And then just to move right through out these widgets, so you can leave this if you'd like, or you can say something like contact me for a private showing. And save and apply. So always save and apply in the bottom right here to get that to populate right away. So that's like how you go about creating landing pages in general though, like with those widgets and dragging and dropping them onto the landing page design. And once we click publish page in the top right and choose yes, update it. So it's saying, are you sure you want to update an active site? So even though it's an active site, no one's going to be able to go to it unless you share the link directly to them. So no worries about it being live or anything like that, even if it doesn't look the way you'd like. And once you're done, so once you publish that page, and I can give you guys a couple minutes if you're still working on it, but we're going to go back over to, so it's going to bring you back to that consumer section. If it doesn't, again, that's the last icon here. And we can go over to landing pages to see that active landing page. And to show you how that should look when you configure that, this is the one I did for the open house class. So something with the open house information, please enter your information below to sign in. And then it should update the address, the information. It should pull the photos as well from the MLS. So sorry, that's being finicky right now. In the map as well. Mm-hmm. Oh, like on the name, this name sign. Yeah, if it didn't, then you can always go to edit it. So if you click the three dots on the far right, you have some more options here. And if you edit it, it's going to be the top left is where you can name it. Oh, perfect. And speaking of this section anyway, so with these three dots to the far right of the landing pages, so you do have the option to change the ending slug of the URL. So if you click those three dots and do change URL, you'll see that you can update this last part of the URL. So you can make this a little more customizable. So if you want to do just listen, maybe you wanted to put the address of this property just to make that a little more customizable to you. Click create. But so how to use this in practice? So a couple ways. So this is a great way to replace those flyer boxes that you put on signs. Yeah. So like instead of having a flyer box, for example, you could get a sign writer. So you could, this is just optional, but you could buy a domain name with something like the address of this property. So 123mainstreet.com. And they're like 99 cents, you know, like for a domain name. And you could put this domain name on a sign writer. And so when people are passing the sign and passing the property, they're like, oh, great, I'll go to 123mainstreet.com and pull up all the listing information on there. Instead of having to come up and get a flyer, they could just go to the website, go to that landing page and find out more information, capture their lead. Yes, and that's what I will discuss next. So another option is doing a QR code. So that way, when people are passing, or they can, you know, scan the QR code instead to bring them right up to this listing information. And how I usually create QR codes. So in a new tab, I'll open up a new tab. I just Google QR code generator. That's QR code generator. Now, there'll be a bunch of options. They basically all do the same things. The one we used at Scott Leroy Marketing, though, was the QR generator. So it's the-qr-generator.com. That's just the one we use. But again, they all do the same thing in theory. And then I can go back to command. And I can copy this link that we just created here. Yeah, right? It's cool. And you do copy link address, go back over to the QR code generator, paste that in. That will change that QR code there for you. And then you can click that download icon. Give it a name. And I would recommend PNG. It's a little different. So these free versions usually are always tied to a URL, so like a page instead of like your contact information. Now there are ways to create like a QR code, a V card is what they call it. I don't have a site like suggestion in mind, but I can email over a site suggestion for that. I believe the one we use, so we do set that up for agents, like creating a digital business card and having the QR code. So when people scan it, it adds your contact to your phone, but it is a paid feature, the one we use. But I bet there are free options out there, so I'll give you some suggestions. Yeah. And if you are wanting those suggestions, feel free to email at contact@juleahdesigns.com. I'll put that on the board as well. And I can send over the suggestion for that as well. And I'll put that on the board. All right, yeah, from here you can click download, and that will download that QR code. So now you can put it on a flyer, you can put it just print it out if you want, and like in a frame, and that way people can scan it and find out that listing information right away. Yeah, so really as long as there's a URL, so your Facebook business page, anything that has a URL, you can put that and create a QR code from that. Yeah. Anything. And one more thing I do want to touch on with this landing page is there is a way to embed this on your site, which these steps in general I think are pretty good to know, because in theory you can embed any website on your command website that you want. And really the only thing that you have to do is, again, just have a URL. So let's say, for example, right, because we created a landing page which is separate from your command website. Let's say you want to have a page on your command website, maybe labeled featured listings, that you can put your featured listing information on, so when people are on your website, they can see information on it, for example. So to do that, So I'm first going to create an agent site page. I'm trying to think actually if we have time for this. I might skip this part and maybe come back to it at the end because I don't think it's too crucial. And I do want to go through an email design, an email campaign, and a postcard. So I just want to make sure we have time for that. So let's actually do an email design and an email campaign next for our listing. So what we'll first want to do is create the email design that we'll want to put, that we want added to our campaign. And to do so, we'll go to the design section. So again, we can click that KW in the top left. We want to expand those out, and that icon looks like a paintbrush. There we go. Designs. All right. And once that loads, we're going to go up to create a design in the top right. And you'll be given some options here. Now, to run an email campaign with a design, it does need to specifically be an email design. So social or print post won't work with it. So it does specifically need to be an email design if you're doing an email campaign in Command. So we click on email and click continue. And it will show up a bunch of templates that KWRI has created. I always recommend just taking a look. They have some cool ones in here. But then you can also search for specific templates. So let's say we are doing a just listed email campaign. We can search for that. Just listed. We'll come up with some template ideas. So you can click on any of these that you're wanting to use. I'll just do approachable. So you can click on it and then click next. I do want to point out there is an option to start from blank. I think it's easier to start from a template, but just wanted to throw that out there. So click on the design you want to use and then click next. Now we'll open that up. So if you came to class last week, we did an open house social post. The email design section, or just designing an email, is a little different, and it looks a little different than if you're creating a social or a print post in Command. But I kind of like it a little more. So it's pretty simple. So really, any element on this design, it's kind of the same steps. So let's say we're wanting to edit a text box. To do so, you can click on that text box and then click the pencil icon to open up that editor on the right-hand side. So that's with any elements at all. So even this image, if I click on the image element and then click on this pencil icon, that's how I can edit that. So with this image, for example, if we're wanting to replace this with an image of the property, we can click replace. So again, clicking on that element, clicking the pencil icon, and then we can use this editor on the right-hand side so we can replace that. So you can do that with your images that you've already loaded in. You can add images straight from your device. Or you can do this by listing images. So that does allow you, again, to search for your listing, and then this pulls from the MLS, like the pictures. So I can search for that and click on that listing. And then I can add in any of these images from the listing that I want. So maybe I want to highlight the lake. Click replace. So there's a few other things you can do. So you could even hyperlink this image. And you can also change the width and height of it. I always like to keep things centered for position. And then once you click done, so this is the final step. So typically it's click on the element, click that pencil icon, edit, and then make sure that you click done right here to get that to populate. So same thing with text. So if you click on it, click that pencil icon. Let's say we want to put in our listing information. Pick the shorter address. You can also change, the font. And I'll touch on merge tags here. You can also hyperlink that or make any of these edits here, and then click done. See, and that moved it over. So I'm going to click on that element again, click on the pencil icon, and I'm going to center this. Now I'll click done. Well, it's being super finicky. I don't think it's going to do it. I cannot get it to center. I swear. Well, that would be how in theory you could do it. But really, so that's how you go about, like, with email designs, how you can edit those. I like them a bit more than the designs because it has that editor section when it works right. But then, for example, okay, we have a button here that says view listing. We can click on that button, so same steps again. We can click on it and click that pencil icon. And we can link that to the landing page we just created, for example. So we can do link to landing page. You do have the option to do web address. Maybe you wanted to push them to your app or maybe your website. But for this, I'll choose landing page, and then I can actually select that landing page that we just created. So just listed. We can make any other updates to that we want. Maybe I want it red. And then once I click done, that would populate. And you'll see in the bottom left here that it is hyperlinked to that landing page that we created. Now, a couple other things I want to touch on in this section for email designs. You do have a bunch of widgets that you can use here. But also, I really like how in email design specifically, when you're editing text, that you do have the options for these merge fields. So merge fields are, they're like placeholders. So for example, for agent first name, if you added this here, that's going to pull from your marketing profile and just fill in that information for you. But what I really like about merge tags is that they also have the option for, if you keep scrolling down, they have a ton of options here. But they have contact first name. So that way, if you're sending an email design and you put the contact first name as a merge tag, that would, if you sent it to Connie, then it would say Connie and have the rest of the information. So it really personalizes that email design. And I can kind of show you what that looks like. So if I said, take a look, and click done here. So it will show like that as a merge tag in your design. But if you go up to options in preview, for one, you can scroll down and see that your information was filled in. So here's that legal footer that is required on email designs, which all templates are going to have that for you. So you'll see this filled in all my information for me. So this is all pulling from the marketing profile. But even better yet, you can go up to search contacts in the top right and just give an example one. Like so, these are pulling from your contacts. And that way you can see that merge tag filled in, with that contact, it would say, Easton, take a look, it would really make that more personalized to your contact that you're reaching out to. So I really like those merge tags because it does give you an option to make that more personable. Yeah. So those merge tags in general, so if you're editing any text box, so that pencil icon, that's going to display in the top right, those options there. And if you scroll down, the contact ones are down at the bottom. And then I believe if you pull in a text box too, so with those widgets, it's like the landing page. You like click, drag, and drop, and then click that pencil icon, and you'll see those here as well. So if you're maybe wanting to add that like up near the top of it or something like that. And then like to preview those merge tags, if you go up to options and preview, you can search for the contact in the top right to give an example of like what that would look like with that filled in. Yeah, of course. So I do also so once you're done editing all this, I do also recommend in this options section, you do have the option to send a test email. So you can send this to yourself. So if you click send a test email, it will prompt you to put in your email address. And I do recommend always sending yourself a test email before email blasting this out to all your contacts, just to make sure that's displaying exactly how you'd like it. There's no mistakes or anything like that. All right, so once we create this, we can click save in the top right. Make sure you can always click save as much as you want when editing this, just to make sure everything saves. And then you can click the X to exit out and click save changes. Okay, so now we have an email design created. Oh, it's 2. Okay, so you guys want water or anything you guys want to take like a couple minute break and you can use the bathroom and get water? Okay, we'll start back up in like 5 minutes if that's cool. Sorry, just so you don't have to listen to technology for 2 hours. Great. Yeah, go to kwv.resources.com. Actually, neither. If you start a new tab and do KWV resources, yes, and then .com. And then it works right away. That always happens to me, especially when I have an issue and I'm going to show it, and then it's like fix itself. Yeah. And then if you click I need tech help, we are happy to help. So really anytime that works best for you. So any of those are available. I think, wait, is it the 17th? Or is today the 10th? Okay, okay. Yeah, of course. You can walk through any of this technology. So computers will start to like oh, it's on the other side. Yeah. Bless you. Sorry, that's what it is. Feel free. Why? I already have a debit or a credit card. I just got it. Wait, is this our business one? It is? Oh, it is. Thank you. Awesome. Yes, it is. Fantastic. know. Be overwhelming. Yeah. Well, I feel like it's just like so overwhelming to learn all, but like in pieces. Yeah, long way. Yeah. Right. Yes, they are. And so that will be on the KWB's on the KWB site. I forget what the tab name is. Let me pull that up. I always forget myself. Oh, it's on demand training on the KWB. And then I forgot what this was again. Yeah, it was BAMC50 with capital B. And then if you click on demand, that should bring you to YouTube. And then all ours are under Tech Tuesday. Okay. I'll grab a water. Absolutely, no problem. Thanks so much. Have a good one. Thanks, you too. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Sometimes people just call us both JuLeah. And we look, so either way. Yeah. Yeah. So far, you're wrong. The way that I box that you've given. Oh, like for on your hub. Yeah. If you just like want to tell me the page, I guess that's a lot. That's easier. Yeah. Yeah, of course. All right. I'll give it just like a minute more. Allow people to get back in here. All right, I'll probably just go ahead and continue on. All right, so we have created our email design. That's what step we are in. So we've created our email design. Now we want to send this to our command contacts, like an email blast, or even just to some contacts. So to do that, we're going to go into the campaign section. So it's going to look like a megaphone icon. Campaigns. So, okay, on the campaigns section. And you'll see that there are a few options here. So we have paid ads. So these are going to be Facebook ads that you can post. So these are like paid, that you pay for these Facebook ads because they are reaching your non-Mets. So these aren't meeting your sphere. So like social posts, for example, that's the spot you could go if you wanted to post something through command, but on your feed so all your friends could see. But then Facebook ads are going to be meeting your non-Mets. So not your friends on Facebook, but, you know, like on the side of Facebook when you see ads like, yeah, and it's like you just look for shoes and you see the same shoes now appear on the right-hand side. Yeah, that's how the Facebook ads would appear. And that's where you can like choose an area for that. But the two we'll be kind of touching on are email and direct mail. Those are the two we'll be doing. And I think I'm going to show this. So let's start with email campaign since we just created that email design. So to do so, we can click on Create Campaign in the top right and choose email for this. Oh, yes, you are. So you're on the emails dashboard. So in this campaign section, you do have emails here at the top. So this would be like your emails dashboard that you can see like you're drafted and you've sent or anything like that. But then we can click Create Campaign in the top right and choose email. And we can give this a name. So again, this isn't something that your clients will see, but something for your sake. You can choose the goal of this campaign. So I'm going to advertise the listing. Yeah, I think so. I think. Yeah, track talent. Yeah, I think that makes sense what you said. And then you have the option to run it through command, email, and through MailChimp. So just a heads up, MailChimp is a third-party platform. So really, they gave you the option of MailChimp before command email was a thing. So that's why like this is kind of an option. But I would personally recommend to run it through command email. You do get 5,000 emails a month. So I think that's a good place to run it through. So I can walk through where we are in here. And so we are in the campaign section. Looks like a megaphone icon, campaigns. And then we click Create Campaign in the top right and chose email. And now we're just giving it a name, a goal. And where you'd run that through. It's being really slow. You're good? Awesome. Okay, welcome to campaigns. Yes, so I did create campaign in the top right. So create campaign, that green button in the top right, and then email. And then, yeah, the enter a campaign name. Advertise, select your goal, advertise listing. And then you can leave this as command email. So that settings section we looked at last time with the command mail and making sure your reply to email look good, that's where it's going to be pulling from, that email. And we can click create campaign. Now the email campaign, setting this up is pretty straightforward. You'll have the name that you just named it, this account, so that's what's pulling from that settings section, and you can't change it in this section, which is why we looked at that in settings. For 3, so this is recipients list. So if you have created recipient lists already, you can click this drop down and you'll see your options appear there. If you have not, no worries. You can always click create list on the right, to the right of that. And you can create your command email list here. So you can give that a name. So let's say I wanted to do all contacts. Now, I want to do this as an email blast. I want to email all my command contacts, for example. I could do that. You can also do this by tags, which is why tagging your contacts is really important. So let's say you just wanted to send this to all buyers or all sellers, and you had your contacts tagged with buyer or seller. You could filter them out by that tag. That would help you market to them efficiently. Yes, so everyone who has an email will be in this section. So if you have more contacts than you're seeing here, it's maybe because those contacts don't have emails. So if they don't have emails, they won't be an option. One other thing I want to point out for these lists, if you have more than 100 contacts, you need to scroll down to the bottom. It's kind of annoying, but you have to scroll down to the bottom and click load more, because it's only going to load 100 at a time. So if you have a lot of contacts and you're wanting to select them all, scroll down on your list until it says load more and load them, and then click select all, so that it selects all your contacts. Just one tip there. So yeah, you can search for specific contacts. If you want to just do all of them, you can select that all checkbox. Probably more than likely you're either going to do all your contacts or select that by tag. So those are those 2 options there. And then you can click confirm. That's probably through the intranet. So you can email blast through the intranet, so that just emails all the agents in this market center. So I bet that's what they're doing. And that's through my KW instead of agent. So if you have any questions on that, feel free to email and I can walk you through that process too. Right, this is more for hitting your clients and your contacts, and then the intranet is to reach just your agents in your market center. So you'll see my recipient list was updated with that new list I just set up, all contacts. You'll see again, this is where that's pulling from that settings section, that command mail, so you can't change it, but it is pulling from that section. So if you do see that this isn't how you're liking it, you would edit that under your settings and that command mail. It's that spot. And then you can give this a subject. So this is something that your contacts will see when you send it, unlike the campaign name. So you can do just listed and have the address there. And then now, since we've already created that email design, under content, we can click select design. And first it will show up your template. So you'll see it says my templates here, so that you could easily just select the one we created. Just a heads up, you can come to this section to create those other KWR templates if you wanted to do it this way. But under my templates, I can choose that template, email design template that just showed up. So again, if you're ever creating a social or print design, you won't see that as an option in this library. So you can only select your email designs. So if you click on it, we'll give you the option. It will bring you back into that editor we were in design. So if you want to make any final touches on that, you can do so. Again, I always recommend going up to options, sending a test email to yourself just to make sure that's perfectly perfect before you send out. But then I can go to save and exit. And you'll see on the right-hand side that will give you a preview on how this will look. And then you have the option to then schedule this out. So that's what's great about email campaigns. You can do this on a specific date. So let's say you create one for a holiday. You can create this email campaign and then come to schedule it for that to be sent out on that holiday. It will just automatically be sent out on that day. Or then you can also press send to send that out immediately. All right, any questions on that with email design, email campaigns? This is a listing, yes. True that. All right, great. Well, now I'm just gonna exit out of here. I'm just gonna save it as a draft for now. Yeah. Kind of same, and we'll walk through this. So there are two options with direct mail. So you can use a template, like create a template within this section, which I'll go through. But you do have the option to create like a design in Command and download that as like a custom design. So it is kind of like the same process for this, and I'll give some tips as we're going through it too. Oh no, it's okay. Go ahead. Yeah. Absolutely. You can send any email design, like introducing yourself as a realtor to your sphere. Right. Yeah, definitely. So you can definitely use this email campaign however you see fit. So yeah, you can introduce yourself, like have an email design introducing yourself, let me know if you know anybody that, ready by yourself. And then, yes, I believe there's templates in here for that. Let's take a look. So I'm in designs and I went to create design and email. Continue. And then here are all the designs here. So you can like load more, see if there's a design that fits there. But this one's like a golden, like the golden letter one. Yeah, exactly. And there are also smart plans in Command. And so those are more like a campaign series. So this is like smart plans are like a series of emails and text messages and tasks. And we have a whole class on that too. And I can send that over as well because it's just the difference between like smart plans and email campaigns. Like email campaigns are great for like one-offs. So like if you're just sending one piece, and they're also great because you can schedule them for a specific date versus smart plans are going to be a series, and those are sent off between a certain number of days instead of like a date base. So that's kind of the difference there. But it looks like they do have some templates for that, like the basic ones and the work with me, buyer and seller. That definitely can use that campaign section however you see fit, but it's just a great way to email your sphere in bulk, just all, and with great designs too. So let's go back to the campaign section. that megaphone icon. And now we're going to do a direct mail. So we're going to do a postcard through command. So for this, it's going to be direct mail. So kind of same steps here. We're going to go up to create campaign. But for this, we're going to do direct mail. But you'll see it kind of looks the same. So we're going to give it a name, and a goal. First, oh, sorry, campaign section. Oh, no worries at all. So I'm in campaigns. I just jumped back there very quickly. And then up by create campaign and direct mail. Okay. Then click create campaign. So you can select your listing if you have one. So like for a just listed one. But again, you'll see that it's only showing. So if you're ever missing your listings, it's only showing your listings. And then it's also only showing active right now. So let's say you want to send a just sold postcard, for example. You would just have to be aware of the status to find that. But again, you can always go over to all listings instead to show more if you ever have trouble finding your listing. And hey, Mom, what? Never mind. Actually, that's all listings. Or, oh yeah, that's my mom. Front row, thanks, Mom. And then yeah, you can search for that listing, or just listed one, or just sold or whatever. Click select. So that was added to the second section here. What we'll be more concerned about is content. So if you click on content or this arrow to expand that down, you'll see that you have two options here. So first, I'm going to go over the upload design. So if you click upload design to the right of that, it will look a little different. But just a couple things to keep in mind. If you are uploading a design instead of just creating a template in the section, it does need to be in JPEG or PDF format when you're downloading it. And I would always just keep in mind these sizes when you're creating that. So just know that these are the required sizes for this. And so maybe if you're in Canva or wherever you are, just making sure that the dimensions fit. That way it makes it easier when uploading it, so you don't have to like resize it to get it in there. But these are the dimensions it requires, so just keeping that in mind. And then one other thing is that they do need to be downloaded as separate files. So like the front is a download and then the back is a download, and so that you can input that in this way. Those are kind of tips with uploading a design. But you also have the option to select template. So this makes it a bit easier to set this up and get this sent out. So first, it's going to ask what size that you want. And you'll see those size dimensions are going to be on the far right here. So the 4x6 is usually the like the standard, but we did order like a 6x11, and those did look really good too. So bigger option isn't available. You can insert the listing address, which is pulling because I selected that listing in the second section. But then you can make any updates to this. So if the listing price has changed, we're doing a just listed post today, so we can choose listing status and just listed. And again, because we chose that listing at the beginning, it's pulling all this information in from the MLS. So that's why it's like all filled in. But you can always edit this information. Like for example, this section only has a 350 character limit. So it wouldn't let me continue anyway until I remove some characters. So high. There we go. So I got that under 350. Next will be a listing photo. So you can upload an image, or you can do that by listing image. Now you'll see some of these, or all of them, have these red like exclamation point. It's letting you know that it's not in the exact dimensions that it's wanting. So it likes it in the 1200 by 1800 for postcards. And so if it's not in those exact dimensions, it's going to give you that like exclamation point. But you can always see what that kind of looks like. And like it looks okay. So you can, you know, use your discretion. If it looks stretched on this preview, and it's going to show you another preview before you pay, just keep an eye out for it, because it's just letting you know it's not in those dimensions. So you'll have your agent information. So you have your information as well, which again is pulling from the marketing profile. So you can always update it. And really that's all for the content section. So you can click save. I'm going to let you know that it's not in that requirement. I'm going to go ahead and use it. But feel free to, you know, update that to the dimensions if you don't want that error message. Next, you're going to have to make sure your market center information is correct. So you're going to have to verify this address. I'm going to enter our information. And then click verify address. And then you can just confirm that address. All right, we got some check marks going on the left-hand side here, which is a great sign. So we just need them all checked. Next, though, we're going to go to targeting. So you can target your database, so if they have addresses in there. But you can also do local targeting, which is really cool. And when we configure the targeting, it will be even cooler. But you can do that by an address. So you can, like for this is a listing, so I could put in that address. But if you maybe wanted just to target a neighborhood, you could just put in any address in that neighborhood. But then just save it, and I'll show you the configuring of that targeting. And the last thing that you need to pick is your budget. So how many do you want? And for compact, there's only a first class option. For the bigger ones, there are 2 options, and that's just how fast they're sent. I believe first class is 3 to 5 business days, and standard is 6 to 8. I'm remembering correctly. All right. So once you've got all green check marks here, we're next going to go over to configure targeting. Yes, I want to create this campaign. So this is the cool part. So because I put that listing in there, I have a couple options here. So I can do this by radius. So I can choose, you know, the closest 200 homes, or maybe I just want to do 180 homes, right? I can choose that number, and I choose a radius. And Command works with, so this is integrated with Real Mailers, and they pull all these addresses for you and send this out for you. So they have all these addresses, and they post that, or they send that out for you, the postcard. So you can do that by radius. You can also, if you want to be really specific, you can draw. So right underneath radius, you have the option to draw. And you can really, you know, choose which section of that neighborhood you're wanting. I'm going to pull in all those. And you can filter this even further. So you can target this by number of bedrooms, square footage, year built, year last sold for. Maybe you're wanting to reach a more luxury market. You know, you can really update and filter this how you like. But what's great is that Command has all these addresses, so you don't need to like go find them or purchase all these addresses. You can just set this up, and it will send it out to the addresses for you. Yeah, it's like typically like with the templates that Command has, it is property based, so like just sold, just listed. But really, since it has the option that you can upload design, you could do you know, a mini CMA on, like, you can farm a neighborhood with this and do like a mini CMA on that, or like some fun facts about the neighborhood, and kind of brand yourself as an expert of that neighborhood and post it out. So really, you can use it however you see fit. But this is kind of the process of how you can go about setting that up and the configuring targeting. Yeah, that's a great idea. So yeah, you could set up a postcard with your information, just letting them know that you're a realtor, and yeah, post that and send that out. Great idea. Sorry, what was that? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can leverage. You can leverage postcards if you like. So we do like $50 postcards whenever, the custom designs. Or yeah, or this would be kind of the way you could go to design section, and instead of, like, we clicked email in that section, but you can click print, and instead you can search up postcards, so it will give you postcard options instead, like templates that you can use and switch out your information to send out. Oh, let me see if I can help find that. But just to, you know, finish this off, so you can always send a copy to your address so you can see what that looks like. And click next. This will give you that preview where you can view that larger too to see exactly how that's going to look. So you'll see that add that postage information for you. And this is how the template's going to look in Command. And then, yeah, you can just add your payment info. Once you make that payment, that will send out in 4 to 6 business days. But yeah, let's see if I can find a postcard example like that in designs. So I'm going to go over to designs to look for this. I'm going to go to create design, and I'm going to go to print for this. This is the postcard. Now, usually, I don't think you can only search by topic type. I don't think you can search by kind type, but let me try. Oh, yes. So this is what came up for postcards. So maybe like something like I'm making a move. Do something like I'm making a move kind of deal, letting them know that you're a KW now on a postcard. But just remember that your designs will need to have a front and a back for a postcard. So like, let's see, does this get into? Yes, it does. So pages here on print designs will be in the bottom right. So this will be like the front, and then you can click to see what maybe that would view on the back. Just an option. So yeah, you can, of course, use these section. This class today was for just listed posts or just listed exposure. But of course, use these platforms however you see fit. Really, the steps in general kind of stay the same, just like the topic that might change. But just let us know too if you have any questions when you're doing this and you come across something and pulling your hair out. Instead of doing that, you can always contact us and we can help out anytime. Of course. Yeah, any questions at all? Okay, well, I do have 20 minutes left. Is there anything specific you'd like to see? If not, I have an idea of what maybe I could do, but yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So yeah, so on for print designs in general, so if you wanted to add images, so this left-hand toolbar will be primarily what you'd work with in this design section. And right now we're selected on images. And if you go over to add, so we're on images on the left-hand toolbar, and then add up near the top, you can certainly click here to search your device for that picture. They also have some stock images available in here. So if you maybe don't have your own pictures, you can put in a stock image. So that is definitely a capability. Right. Yeah, I think if you're introducing yourself, it's good to be as neutral as possible. But Charlotte would be maybe a good picture to show, just to show that you're a Charlotte expert, or that you're very versed in the area, that they're branded, they like Charlotte, so it's like, oh, great. Yeah. But yeah, you can certainly add images to these. Is there anything else specific? Any questions on anything? Oh, that's frustrating. Good one. Okay, let's do that. I would like to do that. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so yes, that neighborhood page, I really like this neighborhood page. So that you can find in your contact section. So these are pages that are actually made like specifically for each contact. Really cool. So if we're in the contact section, so that's going to be the second icon here on the left-hand toolbar. Really hitting a lot of these applets today. Then we can click on a contact. So just for example, I'm going to click on Roy Williams. So adding neighborhoods to your contacts. So if you add an address to the contact profile, it will automatically pull these neighborhoods for you. So really when you're creating a contact, so it might look something like this. Really the only part that you need to add in under additional contact information is a primary address, and Command will pull those neighborhoods for you. But of course, you can always add additional neighborhoods. So on this contact profile, you can click to add neighborhood. And you could search for that or find that on a map, wherever that might be. So I have a few neighborhoods picked out for this contact already. So once you have some neighborhoods added, they can be added to the monthly neighborhood nurture smart plan, which is a great smart plan because it will send out this link per month per your contact. So if you click on preview on the bottom right of this map, this will be the page that will be sent out for monthly neighborhood nurtures, but you can always just share this URL directly to your contact as well. So this is a really cool page. Like you could email this over to your contact and be like, hey, I heard you're interested in these neighborhoods. I created this custom page just for you so you can search for this. And it's great too because this puts the contact more in the driver's seat in regards to searching for their home. So instead of like pushing and being like kind of salesy and being like found this listing, this would kind of give them more control to search for their own listing. So these are really cool because for one, it gives them a breakdown. So in this neighborhood, it shows all the listings available, shows them on the map. But what I really like is if they click on neighborhood stats in the top right, it will break down this neighborhood further. So provide a little CMA here, stats, sold stats. They could search for their place of work and they could find how long it takes to commute to work. That information, what's the best way to do so? It will show them nearby schools for them to check out. It will pull from Yelp and will pull some places to check out as well so that they can search in the area, see what's cool in this area. And then again, it has some homes for sale, has some recently solds down here. So just a lot of great information. I think it's really cool to share with your clients. And you can add multiple neighborhoods so that they can switch between them and look at multiple neighborhoods as well. contacts. So this is for each contact, and each contact does need to have a neighborhood. So this is a neighborhood page. Yeah, you find out they like a neighborhood, add that neighborhood to the contact, and you'll be able to access to this, it's like the site to show them more information. Yeah, so if you're importing your contacts, if they have addresses, it will automatically pull those neighborhoods for you. So as long as they have an address, but then you can also go to each contact and add in manually if they like other neighborhoods that they've shared that they're interested in, you can add in more if you'd like. So it doesn't just have to be the neighborhood they live in. And it does also give them the option to add a neighborhood when you send this over. So, and that would push over to command as well. So yeah, that's under the contacts, like under a specific contact profile. And again, once you add a neighborhood, you'll see this preview where you can open that up. And yeah, I really like that because I think it gives a lot of good information on that area. Like I like the Yelp, and I think it's cool that you can calculate your commute. Yeah, that's so great. I really like that. Right. Well, that's all I have today. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot them at me. This can be like a Q&A for the last 10 minutes or whatever. But if not, I hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for coming. Thanks. Thank you. What's that? Like the homepage? Are you in or in designs? If you, that's a great way. It goes on my KW. I don't think anything happens. Yeah, you may just have to go like type in agent.kw.com. It should sign you back right in. But I haven't found an easy way to do that either. Of course. Feel free to email too at any time. So that contact at JuLeah Designs. Any questions that you come across, just let me know. And for those on Zoom, thank you so much for coming. And let me know if you have any questions in the chat. I can pull that up and address those if you'd like. Oh, that class? Wait, like it says that, or is that the training? Yeah. Oh, okay, gotcha. So yeah, it's saying, so to activate smart plans, you have to add contacts to it. So I guess it's saying that you can add yourself to a smart plan now to activate it, so you can see what that looks like, which is a great thing to do, I think. Yeah. I like to try to put myself on many smart plans just to see what that would look like to clients and see if that's valuable. Yeah, I really recommend if you don't have the Command mobile app to have that downloaded. That way you can get notifications straight to your phone instead of just having to log into Command every time to see those. So I do like that Command mobile app among other features. Thanks for joining. No, what is it? the video. Yeah, those neighborhood videos. Yeah. They're really cool.
Average square foot's up $50 a square foot.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it looks so good. This is what this was. Cool. I love this. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's really cool. You went to create design and video?
Yeah.
So much. Literally, yeah, for sure. Yeah, yep, exactly. Yeah, yeah. There's so much. Oh, good. I like posting your posts. I love your quotes. They're always so good. I was like, oh my god. Yeah. And that was Abraham Lincoln. What a cute quote. I love that. Oh, good. I'm glad. Good. Yay. I like that day. That's a fun day. I like the first quote you did too about the bird not being scared of the branch. I love that. Yeah, I love that so much. It's inspiring. Definitely. Definitely. I love that. That was a good one. Nice. Oh, okay. Oh. Okay, sounds great. That's good for now. I know we've like talked about like probably doing that like down the line, but I mean those times are when we're in the office anyway. So. Okay. Sounds perfect.